Good evening and many thanks for joining us live on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories. The Gambia Environment Alliance, with the support of Standard Chartered Bank, on Saturday launched a mangrove restoration planting exercise in Bund Road Tanwi wetlands in Banjul. A two-day interfaith dialogue was organized on Friday by Caritas Gambia and partners, bringing together religious leaders to promote peaceful coexistence. As the government prepares to table the 2023 executive budget proposal, Gambia Participates organized a two-day forum with parliamentarians and government budget stakeholders. The International Open University Alumni Association on Saturday reunited on campus to share their experiences and their pledge, individual and collective contributions to the Gambia in the next 365 days. And in sports news, the Gambia Under-20 football team are through to the final of WAFU Zone A tournament in Mauritania after defeating Mali 4-2 on penalties. Those were our main headlines, and now the news in detail. Now, the Gambia Environment Alliance, with the support of Standard Chartered Bank, on Saturday launched a mangrove restoration planting exercise in Bund Road Tanbi wetlands in Banjul. As Alusisi reports, they intend to plant 40,000 mangrove seedlings.
This mangrove planting exercise on this degraded wetland in Banjul is part of activities geared towards preserving thousands of species, prevent erosion and protect shoreline, among others. Dr. Omodile Jones, a board member of Standard Chartered Bank, Momodu Inkeba, the chairman of the Gambia Environment Alliance, and Nuha Jame of the Department of Parks and Wildlife, emphasized that tackling climate change is a must for all.
The city is far more threatened now than it was in the 70s. We're in the middle of an environmental and human emergency. 40 years ago, it was seen more as an environmental emergency. Now we know it is also a human emergency.
We want to restore the Tanbi wetlands to stop flooding into the city. The mangroves are going to serve as a barrier or as windbreakers when it comes to heavy storms and erosions and also floods to the city.
We see you as a very good partners for trying to minimize the carbon emission that the Gambia pledged in this NDC, that at least 2%. The Gambia make that to the world, and the Gambia, I think they have the highest promise to the world. So I think this is a step in the right direction.
Mamadou Lamin Ba, National Assembly member for Banjul North constituency, Umar Toure, Deputy Mayor of Banjul, and Dr. Dauda Baji, Executive Director of the National Environment Agency, welcomed the initiative taken by GEA and Standard Chartered Bank as timely to fight the devastating effect of climate change through climate action. They cited the recent heavy downpour which left part of Banjul flooded and many homeless.
The office of the National Assembly member for Banjul North constituency will always appreciate this important gesture, because to us this is very timely. That is why we decided to come and join the team to make sure that we are part of the exercise, to participate, not only to attend or to give our regards in terms of what we are about to see here, but also to participate and be part of the solution, like I said.
Everybody knows that climate change is real, and today we are here to mitigate those kind of problems we are having. All this flooding and whatever, when we respect our environment, at the end of the day, we will have what we want. Thank you.
Environment, as I always said, is everybody's business. And that, as a people, it is important for us to protect the environment for the benefit of us and our future generation. And we are the polluters of this environment. So you don't expect to count on the people supposed to fix it when we are part of the problem.
For many environmentalists, actions are the only credible response to address environmental degradation, which is largely blamed on individual responsibility for the collective failure. According to studies, sea level rise and coastal erosion present serious long-term challenges to the Gambia's development, particularly the capital, Banjul. With that in mind, it is hoped that these planted mangroves will be looked after to ensure they grow to serve the purpose for which they are planted. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alu Sise.
A two-day interfaith dialogue was organized on Friday by Caritas Gambia, the Catholic Development Office, in partnership with the Catholic Relief Services. The event brought together religious leaders to promote peaceful coexistence. Mobudu Kachaga was there and he now reports.
With the theme, the role of religious leaders in the maintenance of peace and social cohesion in the Gambia, stakeholders from religious groups discussed strengthening peaceful coexistence and tolerance. In a presentation, Father Moses Drame emphasized what binds Muslims and Christians of the Gambia.
The other dimension is respect. Respecting the other religion. As I indicated earlier, that the respect is based on what? That we are all children of God. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have the same origin, and we also are looking forward to the same destiny. God created us, and we are going back to God.
Difference in religion, culture and political affiliation can sometimes trigger conflict if tolerance is not embraced. Idrissa Jallo, a political analyst, explains some of the issues that could result into conflict if not addressed.
From 1970 to date, all the presidents we had came not as a result of their level of preparedness, but they came as a result of our lack of engagement with the people. And it happens even with our National Assembly members. Some of the National Assembly members, when they speak, you tend to ask yourself, what can this person offer? We must change the way we raise our kids at home. If you raise your child at home by telling him to follow instructions and not to think, that child will grow to embrace the culture of dominance.
Some of the recommendations from the participants include respecting diversity and having a liaison officer at the Ministry of Religious Affairs responsible for religion, interreligious dialogue, amongst others. Umudu Kajaga, QTV News.
In other news, as the government prepares to table the 2023 executive budget proposal at the National Assembly, Gambia Participates organized a two-day forum started on Friday with parliamentarians and government budget stakeholders to advance fiscal transparency, budget oversight and participation in the process. Omar Pejal attended the opening and this is his report.
Government budgets are complex and parliamentarians will soon review, debate and consider the first budget since their election earlier this year. The two-day dialogue is aimed to enhance the capacity of newly elected parliamentarians and build on the already existing capacities of the returning assembly members to increase their understanding of effective budget oversight, public participation and principles of budget transparency. Mar Nyang, the executive director of Gambia Participates, reveals that with funding from IRI, his organization has facilitated budget discussions with 20 parliamentarians in their constituencies. which has increased citizen interest in budget matters to reflect on their needs, interests, and priorities.
The budget is also one of the most complicated national documents that we have. And for the new parliamentarians to be able to put effective oversight on the budget, they have to be capacitated for them to get to understand the budget, the linkage of the budget to government policies, and then be able to understand the procedures of the budget, what the budget is intended to achieve, and then what are some of the programs that they need to look at to prioritize, and most importantly, some of the allocations that the government will be proposing to the parliament. So you first need to have this background information, you need to have this background knowledge for you to be able to do effective budget oversight, and one of the responsibilities of parliament is to do oversight role.
Jimmy Sankwetia, the IRI Gambia resident director, said IRI and Gambia participates are collaborating to build the capacity of National Assembly members, particularly the newly elected ones, to foster participatory budgeting to promote fiscal transparency in democratic governance, adding that fiscal transparency is a key component and a great pillar of democracy.
Gambia participates in partnership with the National Audit Office, developed the Gambia's first citizen version of the audit report for the 2016, 2017, and 2018 audit reports. Similarly, in July, IRR conducted a 2-day training for the Kanifing Municipality Council officials and CSOs partners on participatory democracy and budgeting. That training was initiated as a pillar for this very important capacity building training, which in our view should set the basis for equipping the newly elected parliamentarians on effective budget oversight of public budget proposal and execution, as well as the Auditor General's findings and recommendations.
Sharing their expectations, the National Assembly's Majority Leader Bileji Tunkara said the capacity building training will contribute to enhancing the knowledge and skills of the National Assembly members.
We are heading a budget cycle. Come the November, December, Parliament will be engaged seriously in terms of budget scrutiny. And having this training would have been much better time than now, where you have new members that has even outnumbered the old members. So it therefore dictates, or it therefore call what the need for us to have the capacity building in terms of budget oversight and also participatory budgeting as well, as far as Parliament work is concerned.
The national budget is arguably the most important annual legislation passed by the National Assembly. Thus, building the capacity of those entrusted with the reviewing, execution and accountability of the national budget is crucial. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar Pijal.
And from that story, we will go for a commercial break. Do stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to US Embassy Gambia Today, a podcast brought to you by US Embassy Banjul. This weekly podcast will feature leaders and our partners in the Gambia. Join us every Wednesday as we broadcast these informative episodes from our American Corner studio at Africell in Bundung. We are on Spotify, Google, SoundCloud and Apple Podcast. You can also follow the program on our Facebook and Twitter pages at US Embassy Banjul. US Embassy Gambia Today, bringing the Gambia and the United States closer.
COVID-19 is real. Get vaccinated against COVID-19. The vaccine is safe and effective. The vaccine is readily available in any health facility, free of charge. Currently, there are 3 different types of vaccines, namely Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Sinopharm. Hand washing with soap, when done correctly, is critical in the fight against COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently, including every time you enter the home or office. Avoid shaking hands with other people. After you cough or sneeze, and before you eat, use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Clean frequently touched surfaces, frequently with chlorine or alcohol solution. Remember, no one is safe until we are all safe. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Gambia Country Coordinating Mechanism with funding from the Global Fund to fight AIDS, TB and malaria. For more information, please call our toll-free number 1025.
Welcome back. Now, the International Open University Alumni Association on Saturday reunited on campus to share their experiences and pledge their individual and collective contributions to the Gambia in the next 365 days. Omar Pejalo has more.
Alumni reunions are a great way to remember the past by recalling the good old days with former classmates and alma mater. In his welcoming remarks, the Vice-Chancellor of the International Open University, Dr. Cherno Omar Bari, said the Alumni Reunion Gathering is one of the IOU's yearly events which reconnects alumni with their alma mater and represent an effective link between the wonderful past and the bright present, adding that it is the bridge of potential that the International Open University has pledged to keep open for its graduates, reconnecting many old friends and colleagues and bringing them back to campus for networking, communication and entertainment.
We have some of our students who graduated and whose education from here has also given them better chances beyond this institution. We have Mohamed Sonko to talk about, for example, who today has been awarded, if I'm understanding, even beyond Gambia here, to be one of the first to do Islamic or Sharia auditing.
The chief guest of the event, Alassana M. Tunkara, said the advent of technology has made it easy and possible for one to learn anything online, hence the importance of the internet. However, he warns that the internet equally has disadvantages if misused as a tool of destruction and carrying misinformation. Mr. Tunkara further stated that the reunion is a great way to bring alumni back to the institute, as this occasion is much more than just a friendly meet-up, but can bring great rewards for their alma mater, as they share some special bonds and a sense of responsibility.
We're in a golden age of information right now. At our fingertips, we have the biggest library in the world. I call it the biggest university because it's my university. We can go online at any point in the day or night and learn something. And the question is, do we use that resource fully? If I go to work, or if a day ends and I haven't learned something, that's a wasted day to me. So I always encourage younger people, because nearly everybody there is younger than me, to use these opportunity to learn.
Speaking on the topic Islamic microfinance, Mohamed Sonko and Alumni said although meeting an old friend is a large part of what the reunion is about, it is also a great way to emphasize the advantages of such a network for professional growth.
Islamic financial institutions, they utilize the techniques of finance, economics and accounting, but within the parameters of Sharia.
Muhammad Al-Amin Kesane and other alumni who spoke on the importance of educating youth through the internet said the gathering is a great opportunity to celebrate alumni achievements and contributions to society and nation building in academia, technology and the civil service and many more.
2019, when Corona hit, I was thankful. I say Alhamdulillah for choosing IOU. The entire world was confused. All the universities were shut down. The only university that was running with no difficulty in this country is IOU.
And other alumni, Mariba, says such occasion is a great way to bring alumni from all batches to reignite all friendships, relive the good old days spent together, to make it a memorable event. An institution's alumni are the reflection of its past, representation of its present, and a link to its future. Alumni are the most loyal supporters of their alma mater, and they contribute to the betterment of the institute as an alumni gift. Alumni are also the great mentors for current students, as they can share their insights about the competitive market for obtaining better opportunities. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
And now in sports news. The Gambia under-20 football team are through to the final of WAFA Zone 8 tournament in Mauritania after defeating Mali 4-2 on penalties. Our sports reporter Mobudu Kajaka watched the semi-final and he now reports.
Not only have they secured a place in the final of the WAFU Zone A under-20 tournament, but they've also grabbed a spot in the CAF under-20 Cup of Nations to be played in Egypt in 2023. After conceding a first-half goal, the Gambia had to dig deep to get an equalizer in the 83rd minute. Substitute Aliou Djiba scoring a beautiful goal to force the game into extra time before the eventual penalty shootout. He was voted man of the match. Mali had taken a first-half lead even though Gambia dominated possession. The young Scorpions launched a sustained attack after conceding. It was a brilliant piece of ball control, passing and runs from the Gambia team that resulted in the late equalizer. Up to that point, Mali had them with strong defending. With the scores at 1-1 going into extra time, both teams tried to settle the tie in regulation time, but it was to take a penalty shootout to eventually decide the contest. Substitute goalkeeper Ibrahima Jaita was brought in to replace Pa Ibu Damfa. He saved one spot kick. Gambia won the shootout 4-2 after two Mali players missed, with one hitting the post. This is the reaction of coach Abdoulaye Bojang.
Actually, I've said it yesterday, that we want to try to be better than the Malian team during the course of the 90 minutes. And on the first half, to be honest, they were a better team. So we had to make some reinforcement in the second half and do some tactical changes, then the game changes. We keep pushing until we equalize them. Game, as I said, it's all about the 90 minutes. And during the course of the 90 minutes, that's the most important thing. No matter how good the team is, they will be better on paper, but we prove to them in the field that we are better than them. That's why we won them. Our first target was to qualify for the AFCON, which we made, and we are here to defend our title. I said in my last interview that there was a coach before me, and he won the edition 2 times. So I'm just stepping in. That is my target. I wanted to win it. Now I have the chance to defend it. So we'll do all what we can to try to defend the title and get it back to the Gambia. That's our target.
The young Scorpions now has the chance to defend the WAFU Zone A title they won in chess against the then host Senegal on penalties, and also a chance to avenge their group stage defeat to the same team, Senegal having deposed of host Mauritania 4-1 in the other semi-final. Mumudu Gajiga, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of our main headlines. The Gambia Environment Alliance, with the support of Standard Chartered Bank, on Saturday launched a mangrove restoration planting exercise in Bondrop Tanbi wetlands in Banjul. A 2-day interfaith dialogue was organized on Friday by Caritas Gambia and partners, bringing together religious leaders to promote peaceful coexistence. As the government prepares to table the 2023 budget proposal, Gambia Participates organized a 2-day forum with parliamentarians and government budget stakeholders. The International Open University Alumni Association on Saturday reunite on campus to share their experiences and pledge their individual and collective contributions to the Gambia in the next 365 days. And in sports news, the Gambia under-20 football team are through to the final of WAFU Zone A tournament in Mauritania after defeating Mali 4-2 on penalties. They will meet Senegal in the final. And that's it from me in this edition of the news. Thank you for watching.